Hey there everyone, Hitesh here, and thank you so much. You are designing so many features on my website, and today you're going to design one more. Thank you so much. In case you haven't checked out, check out learncodeonline.in. So what is the feature that you're going to design for me today on this website? Today, we want to practice a bit more on functions. So this is the thing that you will be designing for my website. So define a function that can answer the role of a user. Now this time, user is going to have the same roles: admin, subadmin, test prep, users, and others for all the trials. And this time, we're going to get an input with different ways. Previously, we were just using the switch in case, declaring some variables. We want to wrap all this up into a function so that I can call this function in wherever the file I like, and I can just get the exact same feature. We are going to call this method or the function as getUserRole, and this time we are passing on two things. The one is name and another one is what role you are having. And based on this, you will be calling the function as well. Let's go ahead and design a simple function with that, and I'm going to show you a couple of more interesting stuff that you can do with functions. And in fact, you will be doing these stuff here. So first and foremost, how do we declare a function? We call a simple function. Let's call it as getUserRole, and then this is going to take two parameters. The first is name, another one is role. Okay, there we go. Now inside the function definition, obviously you would like to have the switch in case, and I have a code editor which helps me to fill up these things. In case yours doesn't do it, just write it manually. It's really not that big of a deal. Now we want to compare a role here on the variety of cases. So the first value that we want to check out is for admin. And this time, notice here, I'm not doing any console log. I'm returning the thing, and that's the most important thing. In majority of the function, you never do a console log. You actually return something from that function. Later on, what you do with that, it's up to you. Whether you want to do a console log or want to use it further, that's up to you. So make sure you keep an eye. Now I'm going to use a backtick here because I think that makes much sense, because I want to use the name of the user as well. So I'm going to simply go ahead and say name, and we're going to say is admin with all access. And since we have talked about this kind of similar situation in the past, make sure if you haven't watched that video, go watch it. Otherwise, it's pretty easy. Admin gets all the access, subadmin gets the access to create and delete courses, test prep gets the access to create and delete test, and user can consume all the content, and rest of all the people are trial users who haven't even never verified their account. Okay. So this is the basic one. Let's go ahead and make a copy. I'm going to use a shortcut key on my keyboard to make a duplicate instead of copying and pasting. I love these keyboard shortcuts. If you want me to make a keyboard shortcut special video on VS Code, let me know in the comments. I will definitely love to make this one. This time we're going to compare with another string, which is going to be subadmin. And we're going to say that this name, whatever you're providing, is subadmin with not all access, but with access to create and delete courses. So there we go. That's all what we need. Okay, what do we need? We need one more of this. So let's go ahead and copy this. Again, this is a bit of a lengthy code. I highly recommend to actually write along with me. The more you're going to write the code, the better it is for all of you. Now, let's go ahead and say this one is actually test prep. And you might be noticing here that this break automatically gets a little bit on the lower of the shiny color. That's because now once we have returned anything, there is no point of having the break keyword. This is just unnecessarily here, but I'm going to still keep it here with the comment. Something like this is not necessary. There we go. I'm just keeping the comment here because a lot of you might be getting uneasy that why there was no break, but there is no role of break here, because once the value is returned, the rest of the code never actually executes. So that's why break is not really necessary, but still, in case you feel uncomfortable, I will keep it. So then we got the test prep, and we're going to say name is a test prep with access to create and delete tests. There we go. What else do we got? We got a user as well. Let me just quickly check. Yep, we got another user which can consume the content. So let's go ahead and say this is actually a user, and we're going to say is a user to consume content. There we go. Nice and easy. And we're going to go ahead and use the default as well. So I'm going to just copy this line and I'm going to paste it up here, which is going to say return is a trial user. There we go, nice and easy. Notice here again in the default also we are using this return keyword. That's why I don't need to say this break and break again. This is a common practice you're going to see all around. Now let's go ahead and try to use this method with the same things that we are getting it. So let's go ahead and say, so simply get user role, and we're going to provide a name. Let me pass on my name, and let's just say I am a test prep. So we're going to save this and let's run this code. So again, running it into, I'm into 03 intermediate, and I'm running the file which is 02 space user role function.js. When I run this, as expected, nothing happens. Reminding you again, it just gives you a value back. It doesn't really execute or put all of these things onto a console. So what you can do is you can just cut this out. You can just do a console log and print that value in case that is the one which is your goal. So Hitesh is a test prep with access to create and delete tests. So that is working absolutely fine. Another thing that you're going to see a lot, let me just put out a comment, or just let's just say we want to do it another, is creating a variable, and that would be like get role, and then we create a method which is going to be get user role, and then we define and try to use it. For example, let's just say we got a Sammy here, and which is user maybe, and we want to then print out this. So let's say we are going to have a log of get role. So whatever is there inside this get role, I want to print this out. This is a very common practice you're going to see all around. So Semi is a user to consume content. Okay. This is all what we have seen, and now we are seeing all of this inside a function. But there is one more thing going on in here. So watch it very closely. This is the thing which you will be writing the actual code a whole lot of time. We go ahead and cut this out. So we are going to cut the name of this from here. Now I'm going to create a variable with the exact same name, and then I'm going to put up an equal sign, and that's it. So instead of calling the function name, I'm actually declaring a variable and saying that, hey, this is a function. So yes, this is one of the unique thing in JavaScript, that you can simply have a function inside just a variable. Now this doesn't change anything in the use case of a function. This is still going to be used by anybody who is using your function exactly like this way. In fact, I can run this again and can show you that yes, this exactly worked the same. But this is a very common practice. This is a part of bit functional programming, but I'm trying to just give you a heads up that yes, this is a common way. And in fact, in most of the React libraries and framework, React, Angular, this is a very fairly common practice. Now, surely this can further be drilled down just to showing you. I'm not talking about the arrow functions here right now, but you can actually remove this. And you can use these arrow signs here, and technically that makes it an arrow function as well. But we're not talking about arrow functions right now. We will be doing them later on. Right now, let's just go step by step. We are not in a hurry. So this is all what we got for this one. Okay, as an assignment, go ahead and remove all the break and see if we are breaking the code or still is it working absolutely fine. So go ahead and do that, and that was all. And again, thank you so much for designing another feature here. And I'm thinking that you're enjoying this very close development process, that you understand that yeah, this is how the things are designed in real world. I hope you're enjoying it, and you have already hit that subscribe button. I hope so. And let's catch up in next video.